Hi, I'm Carol Jurgensen Sheets, aka Carol the Coach, and I want to talk to you today about marriage. Marriage is by far the hardest thing in the world to participate in because it is actually an opportunity for you to get to know yourself better and to negotiate with somebody that you love. And you put those two things together and you have a lot of hard work ahead of you. I'm not anti-marriage. I actually think it's the best way that you can grow. But what I do know to be true is that marriage is difficult. And when you're in a marriage, you not only decide how do I negotiate and compromise, which is the most important skill in marriage, but you also have to ask yourself, what do I want out of a relationship? And if it doesn't work, if my partner can't meet that, how do I get my needs met? Too many people depend on their partner to actually make their lives better. And although I agree that there are many opportunities for your partner to make your life better, I also suspect that if you're really honest with yourself, you have to kind of self-evaluate, what do I need in my life to enhance my life that doesn't have to do with my partner? Now, you've heard me talk about the 6 needs. The emotional need, the intellectual need, social, spiritual, the purposeful, and the physical. Those needs are all very, very important. And you have to figure out how to meet each one of those needs. But what I also believe is that it is imperative for you to assess what is missing in your own life and how can you get that met. If your husband isn't into quality time, or maybe it's your wife, well then, who do you find time to spend quality interaction with that is a safe person? Is it a brother? Is it a sister? Is it a friend? Is it a neighbor? But if you're looking for quality time, then you've got to really work at finding safe people to bring that to you. Our partners can't do it all. And if you need more fun in your life, you want to see if you can't have that with your marital partner. But if he or she is a dud, they're not into having fun, or maybe the fun is so varied and so different that you can't connect, then you got to decide, well, how can I have fun again in a safe way? What brings me fun? You see, what I believe to be true is that you're 100% responsible for your own behavior. And you're 100% responsible for the important outcomes in your life. And that's a coaching principle that I live by. I actually live by 2 coaching principles. One is I am 100% responsible for my behavior and for getting what I want out of life. And the second one is go in for the big ask. Ask. And so if I say to my husband, hey, honey, I really want us to go out. And I want us to do something fun and unique. And I just want to experience that with you. If he's not workable, if that's not a need he has, if he continues to put you off, then you got to say, okay, well, what are some fun things that I'd like to participate in where I can ask my girlfriend, my sister, my brother, my neighbor? You get the gist. Go in for the big ask, but if you don't get it met, then ask somebody else. And that is a good marital skill. All right, so I said marriage is very, very hard. And when I was single, and I was single until I was 44, I'm 61, What I knew to be true is that you really don't truly grow until you're in a marriage, because that's when the power struggle will happen. And you have to decide, when do I let go of something? I surrender to it because it's not important. When do I work harder because it is important and I'm going to make sure that I give it to my partner or I get it from my partner? When do I assess the situation and decide that my life would be better enhanced? I talk to so many couples, and when they get into a stalemate, they just can't agree on something. I ask them a very important question. I say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would make your relationship better? And they say, well, what would make my relationship better is if we spent more time in bed. And then I say, well, what number from 1 to 10 would describe your interaction in bed? Whether it's cuddling, whether it's sex, whether it's communication. And they give me a number. It's a 5. It's a 4. I say, okay, is it a 4 or is it a 5? And they say, okay, it's a 4. And I go, well, what would it take to make it a 5? And maybe for that person, making it a 5 would be going to bed earlier, when you're not so tired and you have more energy to actually give to your partner. Sounds simple, doesn't it? So think about, what's one thing you would like in your relationship? What would you like more of, or what would you like less of? And identify that, and then I want you to assess, what number would you give it? For instance, right now, I'm thinking about my own relationship. I would like for my husband and I to talk about our feelings more. Okay? And what number would I give it? My husband isn't a big feeling person. In actuality, neither am I. So I would say I'd give it a 6. So the question is, what would it take to be a 7? And that might mean that I do a heart-to-heart with him and I say, you know what? I want us to check in with our feelings every day. Let's identify how we're feeling each day and see how that matches up with each other. That might be one thing. Or to make it a 7 might mean that I share my feelings. And that might look like, let's see, honey, when you make choices about our TV that I'm not okay with, I get really angry. And I want us to compromise and negotiate that. Or let's say you've got real trauma in your relationship. Let's say you've cheated. And so let's say that when you really think about what you want in your relationship, you decide that you want less conflict. Okay, what number would you give your relationship in terms of your conflict? Maybe you give it a 2. It is not very good. What would it take to make it a 3? Well, what it would take to make it a 3 might look like, okay, we're going to spend at least 2 minutes a day appreciating something about each other. And that'll keep in the forefront of our brain what we like about that partner. Now, if I applied that to myself, one thing I would know is that I appreciate a lot about my husband. He does a lot of incredible things around our house. He really supports me when I ask for support. And he has my back. He definitely stands up for me when I ask him to. Okay, when I think about the fact that he does those 3 things, I don't just jump to a 3, I jump to a 6. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to look at what isn't working in your relationship, give it a number, and then ask yourself, what could you do to make it better? What could you do to raise it one number? And I'm going to want you to do that for a while. And I guarantee you that will enhance your relationship. Okay, that's a marital skill from Carol the Coach. And I'm so happy that you're here listening to what I believe will enhance your marriage and enhance your life.